Heightened security concerns over the territorial dispute in the South China Sea and the North Korean missile tests have clouded the 50th anniversary meetings of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Touted as Asia's version of the European Union, ASEAN was founded on August 8, 1967 by the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. It has since grown to include Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. The ministerial meetings begin Saturday, to be followed on Sunday by a series of meetings with dialogue partners including the US, Japan, China, Russia, India, the EU, Canada, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. On Monday, the ministers convened the ASEAN Regional Forum, where political and security issues and other transnational concerns, such as terrorism and illicit drugs, are on the agenda. The ministerial meetings are part of the preparations for the Leaders' Summit in November, where US President Donald Trump, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and other world leaders are expected to attend. Whatever ASEAN has accomplished in the past 50 years, however, has been lately overshadowed by security concerns, particularly the territorial dispute over the South China Sea, which has pitted China against the Philippines. Tensions between the Philippines and China heightened after a confrontation at sea in 2012, which led to China's occupation of Scarborough Shoal, which is within the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. Relations worsened after the Philippines filed and won a complaint with the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague in 2016, which rejected China's historic claims over the South China Sea. China refused to participate in the proceedings and instead began constructing artificial islands in the disputed area, which is now have been militarized. But ties between China and the Philippines have mended after President Rodrigo Duterte took power, reached out to Beijing, and opened talks on joint development of gas and oil reserves in the area. Duterte's pivot to China and his announced separation from the United States has yielded pledges of aid and investments worth billions of dollars. As chair of this year's ASEAN meetings, the Philippines has set aside the arbitral tribunal decision and shepherded the adoption by ASEAN of a non-binding framework on a code of conduct in the South China Sea. The draft framework is expected to be finalized and endorsed by foreign ministers of ASEAN and China during their meeting on Sunday.
Again, let me place a caveat that I cannot really speak to whether the document you say circulating is accurate or not. Again, to reiterate that the draft framework of the Code of Conduct will be adopted by the foreign ministers on August 6th at the ASEAN-China PMCs. And as a framework, this is an outline of what we hope to see in the Code of Conduct. It's the thing that is different about international relations as opposed to national law. In national law, if you have a dispute, say you and someone else enter into a contract, someone breaches that contract, you can sue him in a national court. And there will be police to actually enforce that decision. Now in international affairs, of course we have the International Court of Justice, we have International Criminal Court and several other courts, but there is no enforcement mechanism. What we're trying to do here now is to have an effective, a substantive code of conduct. And that meaning that the parties to the code of conduct will eventually all abide by, respect what is agreed upon in that code of conduct. The draft of the framework has already been endorsed by the senior officials last May to the ministers. We don't really expect that there will be an extensive discussion other than the ministers adopting the framework of the Code of Conduct.
Meanwhile, North Korea's continuing missile tests will also be on top of the agenda of the ministerial meetings, with the US calling on ASEAN to downgrade the ties with Pyongyang, who will be represented by Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho. The US call is expected to be echoed by Japan and South Korea. Duterte has called no-core leader Kim Jong-un a chubby fool playing with dangerous toys.
Hindi mo kakumpiyansan yung mukha. Sabi parang mabait. You know, if that guy, I do not think that he is ready, but he is playing with dangerous toys.